In 2 minutes, how could you describe the need that you saw on the market and how you wanted to fill that gap with these events?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Alexandra and Mirela, for bringing this concept to life, because I really believe that there's a huge need in offering women a platform to find a voice for themselves. And I'm saying that because we have a huge problem at Brand Minds finding women that have the courage to expand their brand on an international level. It's an yearly struggle for us to fill our lineup, not just with men, but also with women that manage to reach this standard and reach the international level when it comes to branding and exposing themselves. So thank you for doing this. I think it's a great opportunity for women to receive the courage they need to go forward and build on their dream.
So I think there might be a few future speakers for your event here in the room as well. So you never know, ladies.
It's actually glad to hear that, and it's very nice to be surrounded with such driven women. And I can say dreamers because it all starts with a dream, but dreams don't work until we do. Getting back to your question, I believe that the thing that the founder of Brand Minds, because I'm leading the marketing teams, but Brand Minds, the concept as a business events concept, was founded by Avicii Cirean, which is the owner of the company. Started with a need that he observed in the local market when it came to not extraordinary content, but original content mixed with an experience that would gather and would package the whole concept all together. So it's finding the need of premium content, offering the opportunity for people on our market to reach and have the possibility to have to meet experts that are known on an international level, but also to offer an experience above average and above the standards when it comes to Romania, because we do have this struggle when it comes to our country branding, and we know there's a huge potential to deliver more.
Thank you. That's very true, and I think it's really, really important to bring this awareness because there is so much hunger for this type of.
It is. It actually is, awesome. And there's a lot of hunger that it only needs the platform and a community of support to make it happen.
Yes.
We're not missing anything, but just an opportunity and the tools to make it happen. So it's up to us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Please have a seat, and I will invite our next speaker. Anca Dumitrescu is a behavior analyst, psychologist, and president of Autism Voice. She has 16 years experience in behavioral intervention as a consultant and a trainer. She holds continuing education courses for psychologists and therapists. And you have probably seen the table outside for Autism Voice for donations. So please, before you leave, visit the stand. You will find there Nicoleta, who is Anca's colleague, and they have some amazing prizes for you. Once you make a donation, you also leave with something. So make sure that you stop by before you leave. So now I'm going to invite Anca Dumitrescu on stage, the president of Autism Voice. In 2 minutes, what was I know this is a topic that we can talk about for a very, very long time, and I know that the story is very wide, but for the people who don't know about the organization, and also we are very happy that we can support it, and we have also decided to donate part of the ticket sales from today to the organization, because it's such an important cause. So tell us a little bit, in 2 minutes, what was the need that you noticed and how you started this Autism Voice Association?
Thank you. I will go right to the subject. When I started working as a therapist 16 years ago, I realized that here in Romania there were no real services for autistic children. At that time, we needed to go at home with the children to work with them with consultants from outside the country. So we don't have anything here, no services, no NGOs, no chance for autistic children in Romania. So I started to search what are the therapies that works in this case, and I started studying behavioral analysis in US, yeah, and I became the first behavioral analysis certified behavioral analyst in Romania, and that one was my the reason, yes, and the drive to start this Autism Voice, the NGO, 11 years ago, and at that time we were only 3 girls. Yeah. And now we are a team of 55 therapists, and we are offering services for autistic children. We have 2 therapy centers here in Bucharest, and we are also give consultants for families and centers all over the country. So we will continue to do that.
Wow, wonderful, well done. I also want to invite now one of the speakers that you have seen earlier, and she has an amazing story. I know that many of you connected with her, and if you didn't, please do so after this panel. Natasha Waldron, you have seen her making also a demonstration of dancing here on stage, and she's a former ballerina, and now she is a millionaire. She has the business UKG Lifestyle Group, which consists of UKG Cleaning, UKG Life Skills Academy, UKG Care, and so many more incredible things. And there's no further introduction. I want to invite Natasha Waldron on stage. Please give a round of applause for her. In 2 minutes, Natasha, because people already heard your story, but just in 2 minutes, what was the need that you noticed on the market and the decision that you made to change that and to fill that gap in the market?
Thank you, Alex. I never set out to set a business up. The business found me. So I didn't realize there was a gap in the market until 5 years plus, and I was in my business of cleaning. It wasn't until we came into the care industry did I see this gap, and it's a massive gap. But what I see that a lot of people, I'm someone a little bit different. I'm not after the money. I'm after looking after my staff. They are everything to me. And building my staff up within, that's what makes, I think, a great company. It's the culture, it's the values. And so that's what's important to me. Is this on? Can people hear me?
Yes.
So now seeing the gap in the market, we're really heading for it. And that is definitely in care.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. And you are all doing some incredible things. And I know that people here in the audience are really curious to know more about how it started, because the theme of the panel is bringing a new concept to life, especially when there is no such thing in that market where you start. And it's always difficult to be a pioneer, right? Innovating is difficult, but it's also very rewarding. It's also very beautiful to see how things change and how we make a difference. So I will start with you, Anka, and I'm going to ask you, what was the biggest lesson that you learned from starting this journey?
I think that what I learned from what I did until now is to do the things you are doing, thinking of what you can do for the others. So I always think what the others in my field, in this case, are the therapists and the parents of the children. So I need to understand what are their needs, what they are looking for, the information, the training, and how this will help them in their work with the children and at home with the children. And I do behavior analysis. So this helps all the parents, not only the parents of the autistic children. Yeah? So if I understand how the behavior works, how the behavior of the children develops, and what are the factors, I don't know, that influence that, and I can bring all the information in the right way for the therapist and for the parents, and they will look to learn more from me. So this is what I put in my work every day. What the others need to hear from me to help them in their work every day.
So if I understand correctly, it's more about learning as you go and adapting. Would you say that it's first having something in mind and creating it, or you create as you go, you keep your flexibility? What is the way that you see things better working? Is it first imagination and then creation, or you create and then you start seeing what is happening?
I always have a list. But
Right.
I have the list in my mind, and I also observe the others. So the list is mine, but I am very flexible with that list. Depending on the others, and I'm also listen to them, and I'm flexible with that list. So.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. So, Andrada, I think we might have people in the room, and if there are people who are thinking about starting an entrepreneurial journey or starting a business, are there people who are interested in starting a new business, a new venture, okay, wonderful. So it's important for people who want to start something new to understand what is one of the biggest challenges that you have at the beginning when you want to bring something new to life. What is one of the biggest challenges that you encounter, and of course how you can overcome that?
It's a great question. Talking about the organizational culture that you were mentioning before, one of the things that we highlight at Brand Minds in our team is begin with the end in mind. Try to have a vision of what you are trying to build, and be very aware of what you are actually signing for. Because most of the times we forget that it's not a sprint, but it's a marathon, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's a long journey through which we encounter a lot of challenges, not just one. So it's very important to be aware of the fact that at the beginning it's going to be freaking hard, very hard, because it's not just a matter of cash flow, of the results. It's a matter of struggling to build a brand on the market. And at first, even for us, because we managed to, the first Brand Minds event started with 300 attendants. And it was a struggle because it wasn't just a matter of selling an event, but building the brand of the speakers that we're bringing in Romania among the whole year in order to sell the event. So besides that was also a challenging matter of educating the market, because it's not easy to educate the awareness of the importance when it comes to invest in yourself and invest in experience events. Because people weren't used to pay for events. We know that most of them are organized for networking, for business exchange and opportunities and so on, but never for experience. So that was one of the biggest challenge, because when you bring A-class speakers, it costs a lot. And it's not just a matter of organizational costs, but also the fee they're asking for in order to come here. They're very big. So for us, it was a challenge because it wasn't something that we could. It was something that we could only we could only go cross the challenge that we had by educating the market, for them to understand the importance and the value they can get in return. Especially because the same events in the Western Europe starts from 700 euros up to $2,000.
Yes.
So
That's so true.
in Romania, they're actually very, very cheap.
And you were talking about brand awareness, and I think that is the key factor here, building your brand awareness. Could you share with the audience maybe 1 or 2 tips on how you managed to build this brand awareness and how someone at the beginning can build brand awareness for something that is completely new?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think it all started with knowing your audience, knowing exactly how does the people that you're trying to communicate look like? What are how does their agenda looks like on a daily basis? What we do, for example, is that Brandlines doesn't curate its audience it's not like we're thinking about just business people, just professionals. We're thinking about the business people that will consume the specific content that our speakers are bringing. So each of the speakers actually design a different audience for us. What we're doing is actually we're trying to focus on small communities and trying to approach them by the industries. For example, we have marketing communities, we have branding communities, we have technology communities. That's why we brought our last speaker, Bernard Vogels, who is the CTO of Amazon. So we're trying to find and focus on the needs they have on their inner communities. So based on those needs, we're trying to produce content and value that can help them grow their communities, their businesses, and their teams, because it's also one area that we're trying to enhance in this event that we're doing on 2000.
So knowing your audience is important for building your brand.
And knowing their needs.
And knowing their needs. So doing maybe a little bit of market research and understanding what's out there and what do they need, which is exactly what we were talking, right? So you understand the needs and then you come with something that will serve that.
Exactly.
Wonderful, thank you. Natasha, what is one piece of advice that you wish you had known at the beginning of your journey in entrepreneurship that you wish someone had told you, but you didn't know back then, but you would like to share with people who are starting now?
That's easy. For me, as entrepreneurs, like I said before, we put everything on our shoulders. We do everything. And I know at the beginning it's all very much cash flow, and we're kind of quite tight with things, and we think, oh yeah, we can do that. We can be the marketer, the networker, the HR. We can learn it. Oh, I can do that. I can just add that all on my shoulders. But that's the worst thing you can do. Really, the thing that I would recommend for everybody is to go and get a mentor straight away, because if you really want to grow quickly, is to get a mentor. And they will tell you exactly the same. Leverage, delegate. Things don't cost a fortune anymore. I mean, you've got VAs, part-time staff, full-time. It doesn't have to cost a fortune anymore. You have like Fiverr that can do a great website. There's so many companies out there that you can get a really great deal for, and you don't have to spend the time designing or anything like that. So for me, if you really want to scale, then find a mentor. And that's what I did on my third company. I delegated straight away, I got that mentor, and we scaled like crazy.
Wow, that's wonderful. And how do you think that this can also be applied to innovation? So when it comes to, let's say, maybe not necessarily just in technology, because sometimes we tend to think that we can only innovate in technology, but we can innovate in any areas. So what type of lessons or tips would you share with someone who wants to innovate?
The great thing that we do a lot, for me it's all about my staff. I love my staff.
and I want them to be part of my journey so that we're on it all together. So we started right at the very beginning. I didn't have a big vision, but I had some kind of plan. And I asked all my girls, because at that point they were all girls, to come in, and we all had some beer and pizza, and we would spend one evening, and we would just go, okay, what do we want to, how do we want to see this company grow? What do we want to achieve? And I got everybody's input, and we put everything all over the walls, and we said, yeah, we want to do this, and we want to serve this person, and we went to town. And then I asked them, where do you want to be in that year if we can accomplish that? Do you still want to be a cleaner? Because that's fine. Or where do you want to be in this journey? And they said, they put their name where they wanted to be. And so they were part of it. They believed in it. And that's what we've done every year. So the staff come along with us. And I think that's
Yes.
really powerful for them.
That is absolutely powerful. That is really true. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, so first of all, I would like to acknowledge each and every one of you for the great work that you're doing. So please give them a round of applause, because you are doing amazing. And in one word, how would you describe creative courage for you? What is creative courage for you in one word? Yes. In one sentence, maybe. If it's too difficult in one word.
I think that we can build something with the word be fair play in the mind all the time. So you said one word.
Yes, I like that. Okay, Andrada?
I would say testing, allowing yourself to fail as well as succeed.
Yes, very important.
Mine is share the vision. Share the vision. You have that big vision. We have that big vision with the whole of my team, and we've got to then implement big. Don't implement small.
That's incredible. So courage is fair play, it's testing, having the courage to test and fail, and sharing the vision. Yes, very, very true.
Maybe one sentence?
Yes, you have one more to add. Okay, just one.
Only one. What if we can make money and also do something that we really love, and also do something to bring change in the other lives? I really think that we can do that. Make money, do something that we really love, and also make changes for the others.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is your homework. So I hope you wrote it down, because that will be your food for thought for tonight. Yes. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for sharing with us the tips and the way that you started your journey. And I'm sure that everyone found this really useful.